Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts,
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
Whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express.
Hey, welcome to episode 82 of the Disney Hour Express. So happy to have you here, especially because we are a day late. But are we $1 short?
Well, I mean, we're still waiting for that inflow of cash to come. Where are those advertisers? Where are they?
I know. I don't know.
Where's the Disney advertising?
Listen, I just have to put this out into the universe that D23 and the Olympics can no longer happen on the same weekend. I'm very conflicted about what I'm supposed to be paying attention to.
Well, it seemed like the Disney sites were on overload because it was D23, maybe the Olympics they cared about. I don't think so, but it was the first night of Mickey's Not So Scary was Friday. So there was just way too much for the Disney sites. The Disney...
Slow.
The Disney net could not handle it all.
Too much crazy. But
we wanted to welcome you to... this is the podcast that was neither at D23, nor did we watch the keynote address. So you're listening to people talk about something that they either read or heard someone else talk about because they might have possibly been there. So we're a source of information.
We are, but I have to say we've got more information than just our opinions because we've watched so many sources at this point between the two of us.
And we're hoping
and
that they're
read so
correct.
much information. And my phone has been blowing up all day with other people's opinions on what D23 announced, from they didn't give enough to like, oh my God, I'm so excited. They gave so many things. Now, what?
I'm sorry, but I don't think anybody could honestly say that they didn't give enough because there's so much
I've heard it
stuff.
and I can explain why. But first of all, what the heck is D23 if you don't know? Is it 23 guessing games? Like what is D23?
No, Disney's 23 23 ghosts, 23 cats. The Walt Disney owned 23 cats.
That's just totally wrong.
Okay.
No. So D23 stands for Disney and 1923, the year Walt Disney opened the first studio in Hollywood and founded the Walt Disney Company. Now, this D23 started in 2009 and was founded by current, what is he called? CEO Bob Iger, right? Correct. So it's the official fan club for the Walt Disney Company. So they get a lot of, I'd say, is it discounts, special items to be a part of the D23 crew?
I joined D23 to get Disney Plus a package initially, get a great discount.
Yeah, cool. And
initially,
like they do like immersive experiences too, exclusive merchandise, and they have D23, which is considered a star-studded presentation, right?
It's like the Comic-Con of Disney.
Yes, yeah. You look like you are all like uncomfortable over there. What's going on?
I'm still in my work clothes.
Yeah, that's true. You are still in your work clothes. I'm sorry.
Half the time I'm in pajamas when we do this, or like I've showered.
True. It's much more comfortable.
I'm in shorts. I'm wearing pants. It's hot in this room. It's hot.
Well,
there's dogs. They finally calmed down. And plus, I'm just excited for all the park news.
Park news. So Disney announced last year that they were putting $60 billion investment into experiences, right? And we were so excited to hear this, but we're also kind of like, but what are they going to do? So it seems almost like this year was the answer to that question that we had last year. So it's kind of just a continuation of last year's conversation. So now they really have announced where all the 60 bill is being spent, which is crazy. But one thing to keep in mind, just in the back of your mind, is that the 70th anniversary of Disneyland is going to be next in 2025. So there's going to be some major like roll out the red carpet kind of celebrations over there.
Everyone celebrates 70s, right?
I mean, for sure they will. They'll find a way. Trust me. So get ready. Hold on to
I like this Disney, this kind of quote. This was a kind of a great quote that's from Walt Disney. And this is what this is actually what he spoke on the day Disneyland opened. He said, Disneyland will never be completed. It will continue to grow as long as there is imagination left in the world.
That's so true.
Isn't that kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So he's, and obviously to all the other, he wasn't aware of that there's going to be Disney parks all throughout the world in multiple locations, all getting stuff and growing at an unbelievable rate at this point.
So, I mean, all that being said, Walt is an amazing man. What they have now done and what we suspect is going to roll out right at his 70th celebration is a new Walt himself audio animatronic.
The first of its kind.
Yeah, the first of its kind. Now, he was the one to kind of revolutionize animatronics. Yeah. And this is just really cool. Seeing the mock-up version of this, you're just like, no way. Right. Now, they're saying like this is like the first time the Disney company has created a Walt figure. And it's like so funny because I immediately was just like, well, what about his frozen head in the dungeon corridors? He's cryo, whatever, somewhere out there, right?
It's very true.
But in any case, they are claiming that this is
him and Ted Williams
very first time.
And they said, right, that this is going to take over. It's going to be over where you see Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. So it's not really taking over. I mean, it's going to be a shared experience. Yes. Not that Lincoln and Walt are going to be together, but like they're going to swap times and sets.
So they had something where they took out like a permit for like a rotating platform of some sort, and this is going to be like where they're using it. So it'll be like Walt, and then it'll slide over to Abraham at some point.
But I am like, what is he going to say that we haven't already seen? I mean,
he's always just going to say his quotes and stuff. Yeah. Like, but you see him somewhat lifelike person. I doubt they're going to use the weird 3D projection faces on like they do in the Frozen ride.
Oh my gosh, absolutely not. If they do, I'm gonna say something, Rob.
Could you imagine? Yeah, yep.
But that's a really big deal, I think, for all Walt fans. We're excited to see where that comes. Now, I'm gonna keep rolling on with things that are going on in Disneyland or coming about. We've got big news over at the Avengers campus at California Adventure. It's going to be doubling its size, which kind of blows my mind because I feel like the Avengers campus is somewhat new.
Somewhat, but it's also, for me, it always feels like I just don't hear enough about it.
True.
It never feels like it's, even though it sounds like this really awesome, like part of the park. It's like I never hear enough about it. It's always like it's there, and they got Spider-Man, and there's the Avengers ride and all that stuff, and there's the PIMS lab, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, cool.
But it's new, but it's supposed to be. It's big and it's huge, and
it's called what is it? Infinity Defense is going to be the additional campus.
That's one of the two new attractions. Yes.
Okay. One of the two. Okay. Got it. I mean, very cool. I don't know. You're more of the fan.
Yeah. This is going to be a ride Avengers. That is like an e-ticket attraction, I guess. Right? The Avengers Campus e-ticket. Even though they said that, that is Infinity Defense. It's going to feature King Thanos. So it's going to be like in an alternate reality. Okay. It's going to be something where like Thanos has figured out how to go through portals and so on and so forth, and you're going to see some cool things. It looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to be, what type of ride is it going to be, like one of those Omni movers, or is it going to be the magnetic? I don't know. But.
Okay. But then also, is it true that also in this area is where the Starflight Lab is going to go?
Stark Flight Lab.
Stark Flight. Oh, I'm sorry. It was like regular autocorrect. My computer wants me to.
It's a heavy toxin autocorrect.
Stark Flight Lab.
Yes.
That one kind of looked cool. Now people were like, what is this? It's like only 2 people, blah, blah, blah.
No.
But it looks like you're like actually like taking off like space kind of stuff. Like,
and they showed
what a jetpack would feel like.
It's supposed to, what they're thinking is that it's going to simulate different Avengers that flight capabilities. And so everyone, Iron Man flies a certain way, Thor flies a certain way, it's all kind of different flying techniques.
So are you going to get all those techniques in one ride, or is it like you have to get different jetpacks every time to get the different rides?
I mean, that's a good idea.
And then you're just going to want to keep going.
Well, I don't know if you seen the mock-ups of this ride?
So it's a twofer, right? There's 2 people on each, or?
Well, see, it kind of looked like 2 different things, as if there's like a track where people are sitting and you're going sideways. And then behind them, it looks like there's mechanical arms that are then holding you up. And that's where like the flight kind of simulation is going on. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. But it looks like you're going to be attached to like a mechanical arm, like sitting in seats, and that's going to be moving you to make you feel like you're flying.
Very cool. I like the idea behind this.
I don't know. I also feel a little queasy just talking about it.
True. Yes, we would definitely get sick on that one, but worth it. So then we've got Coco at Disney California Adventures. Yeah. This is like a boat ride. And the boat, they were saying, or the mock-up really showed that the boat kind of resembled those that you would find on Frozen ride. And it's going to be like a beautiful scene all around, but like projections, maybe like the pirate ride more so in, was it Japan that had like the really big projections on that? I don't quite remember, but it's definitely looking really cool. What a cool idea.
I like a Coco. And they did say, right, they said boat ride, or is that?
Yes, they did.
The boat ride.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. They're big on the boats.
So that's a common. And then, furthermore, Avatar themed land. You better believe we are going to be there over at California Adventures. Now, listen, our Avatar loving daughter did see the mock-ups and saw some video footage of this, and she was like, that's not correct. That's not what it looks like. I don't get it. Like, that's not okay. She was very like offended by this mock-up. Yeah. And so we do have to say that it's not only inspired by The Way of Water, but the upcoming Fire and Ash movie that we have not seen yet.
It's coming out next. Yeah.
Maybe it's more of that and it's just in the water, but she was not impressed, which...
Well, she was a little bit with me. I think she was playing it off. I don't know. It depends.
No.
Yeah, I definitely think it definitely means more that we have to go out there.
This one is actually where the projection dome is used more. Sorry, I thought it was kind of over at the Coco one that they were going to use it, but it's this one, which actually makes more sense for a projection dome to be used here.
Now, they also wanted to make sure, right, that Avatar, that this, whatever there's going to be an attraction there, and they wanted to make sure it is going to be a boat ride, but but it's not going to be like the Navi River journey. It's going to be more thrilling than that. So it's not
like you're going to get wet on this one.
Well, wet, but I think it's going to have more movement than the calmness of the Navi River journey.
Yeah.
So just kind of, and that's what they said. Yeah, I think that's where they said it was like pirates over in.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So this is, I'm excited. So all these things are kind of in the works and happening. Yeah. But no final dates right now, like opening dates.
I mean, no opening dates, but they're saying when they're going to get started, right? Like I think Coco, they're saying construction is supposed to start in 2026.
Okay.
Which is, it's construction getting started. But it's a little bit away. I think Avengers, we should have put all these dates in it. Things I'm not going to make it hold everything.
Well, it's so funny though, because even though we're excited and we're reporting on it now, so many things can change throughout the year. So we can't say that this is final, but this is the idea, and this is what they've mapped it out for.
One of the things they did say, Josh DeMauro said, who's the head of the parks, right? Was that these are not like what they call blue sky.
Yeah, that's true.
Plans or images, like they're not just mock-ups that are. These are actively being developed, right? So obviously, it's not like they're going to just bust them out tomorrow, and by the end of 2024, we're going to see them. Don't expect that, but they're all going to be kind of working on this going forward.
So this is just a little in the middle before we get over to our home park in Orlando. We think that there's going to be more heavy Universal traffic and trips this year with Epic Universe opening in 2025. And then probably in 2027, we'll see Disney pick back up like big time again. I mean, Disney's always busy, but we think that a lot of this stuff will be finalized by 2027, if not a little bit earlier. So that's kind of what we're thinking in the travel world.
In the travel world.
Would love to know your opinion, of course.
Well, about the travel world?
Oh, no. I was talking to the Potoneers.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, well, all right, sit back. I'm going to give you 5 minutes where I talk all about travel.
Nope.
Okay.
Anyway, so the largest expansion ever is coming to Magic Kingdom in Orlando.
When we've been talking about it for a while, right?
Yeah. I mean, so it was like beyond Thunder Mountain. What's going to happen? No, it's just like now. It's like the map is going to look completely different. Like, forget about it.
Absolutely.
So we'll start with the biggest news and the most exciting is Villains Land coming to you.
Yeah. And there was a lot of speculation, right? That's where people were kind of just like, they were like, what's going to go there? What's a big enough IP to have its own land that's supposed to be this big? And everyone was saying, villains, there needed to be a villains place.
Like, so stinking cool. Now, we know that there's going to be two major attractions. One, probably from the mock-ups, it looked like there was a roller coaster in there for sure.
Okay.
And there's going to be shopping and dining experience. So I'm so excited. Like,
for the shopping?
Well, yes. Just think about the theming that they can now go to that they don't quite have.
True.
In any other way. Like, you think about going to Harry Potter Diagon Alley, right? The theming of that products, you can only get there, and so you're so immersed and so into it. It's so interesting to me. I cannot wait. The concept art is very dark and spooky, and they say it's leading into dark, twisted, tormented land. And that's really, really different for Disney. Right? Like, we started this whole thing where in Disney movies and stories, it was like kind of tragic, like Bambi's mom gets shot, and like
Bambi's mom gets shot.
All these moms are just like dead, and terrible stepmothers, and all these things. And then kind of we've had this season of gentle parenting where we're kind of like, oh, like the guy from the Cars place, Cars story is sad, and they're Andy's toys, they're going to a different home, but it's not like this tragic stuff. It's like sad and like you feel it in your heart, but you're not like, whoa, that's wrong. So now that we're kind of like moving on into this like villains land, I'm like, are we back? Are we doing like evil things again? Or are we like making evil just fun? Because if you look at all the movies, what is that franchise that Bailey watches all the time? Has
Descendants?
Evie? Yes, thank you. The Descendants, like they make it fun, right?
Right.
So,
and that's the whole thing where like it was for a big time in like the late 90s, early 2000s, it was all about like the anti-hero, right? So it was like that bad guy that would kind of turn good in a way, or he would kind of be the hero, but he was unlike any hero that we ever, he wasn't going through a hero's journey per se, but he would come around. And that maybe kind of feels like that's maybe the spin they're going to try to make on it. And there's a lot of people that are, they are attracted to that side of, the dark side, essentially, right? There's lots of Darth Vader fans. There's lots of that. So there's going to be lots of people that want to see, Maleficent in the parks. And
absolutely.
They're going to want to, an old lady's going to offer him an apple and be like, I'll eat that.
Oh, very excited.
I'll eat it if I could take a nap.
So, and then that being said, this is Magic Kingdom. Over in Hollywood Studios, they announced something that just like totally out of nowhere, Monsters Inc. They're going to make a Monsters Inc., which is very cool. And it's going to have a new indoor roller coaster, the first suspended roller coaster at Disney.
Gotcha.
And the question is, where exactly in Hollywood Studios is this going to go? Well, there's been so much debate with the FTP chats. So our family travel planner ladies and gents are just like going back and forth like, oh my gosh, if they take over Muppets Courtyard, I'm going to be so mad. And like things like that. And where do you think it's going to go?
Now, it's kind of tough it definitely looks like it's in that area, right? It looks like it's on that, like just there. The picture looks like it's going to be on that street, just like because the building you see in the background, it definitely looks that way. It's like the monsters, the building itself. I could see that being like where but they just renovated those bathrooms. I don't know. It kind of seems that way.
You gotta have bathrooms everywhere.
But also, like I was saying to you, I thought because they have that like Pixar area that's like behind Mama Melrose, which is over there.
Yes.
And that's really like they've closed that off. Except I think they have like a meet and greet there every so often. But for the most part, it's like not utilized at all. So maybe just be going over there.
Okay.
Like it feels like they just put some effort into like renovating the Muppet area.
Yeah, they did re-up it, but
then it also feels
it feels old. They like the show feels old.
It is, but it's still fun. It's still lots of fun, but it also feels a little crowded over there because it's right on the path to Galaxy's Edge.
Yes, that's true.
So like, there's a lot of movement going back and forth right there. And I don't want people coming into my tap room. I don't want people going over there and now all of a sudden they're discovering it because they're like, oh, this place seems cool. Stay away. But I mean, the Monsters Inc. land looks like it's going to be amazing. And then the ride looks really like cool. It's going to...
I'm so excited for that ride. I cannot tell you that this movie played like on repeat every day for at least 2 years. And then like we took a break for a year and I played it for her a year later and she was like, I don't like this movie. And I was like, oh yes you do. I was there. But so it has a place in my heart for sure.
And you're going to be able to get the ride, right? That's the whole thing. You're going to be able to ride on one of the doors.
Yes.
And it's going to be the first ever, like they said, suspension roller coaster. So it's going to be pretty amazing. I can't wait to meet Sully and watch him walk around and trample young children that he can't see because he's so big.
So back over at Magic Kingdom, they're going to put like cars, right? So we were kind of talking about that. There's a lot of chit chatter to make way for a completely new frontier. This is what Disney released their announcement. The Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island will be transformed into vast and rugged terrains for a rally race with some of the world's most iconic racers.
I hear you.
So problem here.
Yes.
This is going to be an outdoor attraction, correct?
Well, that's what... Right. That's why I think we were both kind of watching that a video. A YouTuber was explaining that, and they were saying, outdoor rides in Florida are kind of problematic.
Yeah.
In that it rains a lot, and when it rains, it shuts the rides down. You can't ride it. They shut all this stuff down. Think about how many
times like Test Track and Speedway like have to close down.
Well, I mean, but any of the rides throughout the parks, right? The outdoor stuff.
So it's just kind of an interesting.
But it definitely seems like it's going to be too big to keep indoors, like in a building per se. I don't know.
True. So maybe it's like indoor-outdoor experience. I don't know.
Still, it's going to shut down. Yeah. How do you feel about the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island?
All right, listen. How many times have we been to Tom Sawyer's Island?
0.
How many times have we gone on the River of America boat?
I never really see it moving. It's always just in its dock and the wheels going. So I don't know.
We saw Tiana wave and sing from it once, I think. But
I don't know if I did.
Like, good choice on area. Nobody really cares.
Yeah.
But how are we transporting over there? What's going on with that?
Well,
what are they doing?
I think they're going to
making a little bridge.
I think they're going to get rid of the water.
You think they're going to drain all the water? It said
the Rivers of America is going away.
But I mean,
yeah, they're going to drain it just like they did with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and all that stuff. They just get rid of it. Get rid of the water.
It's going to transform the way the park looks.
Yeah, absolutely. And then plus also you got to think like right behind it is going to be where the villains land is going to be. It's going to be very busy.
I need somebody to draw me a map.
That's going to be very busy over there.
It is. Yeah, that's actually a very congested area right there.
Already. Especially just with Tiana's opening. It was already pretty crazy. And now if you're going around that, because you still, even though it's not going to be water, it's still probably going to take up the same area, right? And so you're still going to have to walk around. So go up past Tiana's to Big Thunder Mountain to then go over to Villain's Land. So it's going to be congested. What I'm slightly worried about,
yes,
and what I always kind of found, it's always like a little strange with the Haunted Mansion because it goes right from like the riverboat, you're on, because as you're getting in the queue, you're right on the line of the river. Now, is it going to be weird if I'm going to have to listen to Mater talk as I'm waiting to get into the Haunted Mansion? I'm going to hear
flow would not go.
So hopefully they kind of maybe separate it a little bit.
Yeah,
put some stuff up in between.
I agree because it would just ruin the whole feel. It would really ruin that feel. Yeah.
So,
interesting.
We'll see, but that's what they're saying over in Frontierland. That's where it's going to go.
Well, nice. Now, Indiana Jones, we're both kind of we went on the dino ride, being okay.
Where? In what?
Oh, sorry, we're back over at Animal Kingdom.
We're flying all around.
All right. So, yeah, we are. We really are. They're going to have an ancient Mayan temple, and the ride will be a brand new story. Now, are they going to plop this brand new story right into the dino attraction that's already going? And then we're all going to be like, what? This is kind of the same. Or are they really going to redo everything? I'm hoping for a redo.
I think it's going to be I think they're going to put it in... Right, it's going to be where Dinosaur is, and but I think they're just going to upgrade everything. But I think it's going to be a similar ride system.
Yeah, because they have the cars, right?
They have the cars. It's
going to be like Frozen,
but I think they need to make it better because we just went on it not too long ago. It was very herky jerky. Nobody enjoyed it.
No.
So they need to make it a better ride.
Yes.
But it's going to be with an all new, like they said, this all
overlay.
New,
so that's what I mean by Frozen. How it used to be Maelstrom. It's the same thing, except they changed the queues and stuff a little bit and redid the ride. All right, so I could, hopefully they make it less jerky and you feel like you're gonna get whiplash.
And now this is all part of. Right, the whole tropical America, retheming of Dino Land is going away, and you're going to walk through something called, I forgot the name of it already, but it has a name. It's Puebla Esperanza. So you're going to walk through this kind of, archway that kind of brings you into this tropical America's land. But
very beautiful, very beautiful.
Going back to
Encanto themed.
Going back to the Indiana Jones, yes, it is. again, it's a little bit questionable why they're now putting in an Indiana Jones ride where Indiana Jones is essentially done. It's over.
It is,
because
I think
that was the end. I mean, Harrison Ford was just inducted into the D23 Legends along with Miley Cyrus. I'm sure he's happy about that. But they're not going to be making another Indiana Jones.
Not with Harrison Ford.
No.
They might make it with somebody else, though.
Yeah, but can you though?
Yes, please.
Can you?
Do you know how many things have been remade already? I feel like we're reliving the 90s
like they would just
right
have
now.
to make it like a female Indiana Jones would be the only way I would get excited.
I don't know what to say about that, but okay.
I mean, it's just like it can't be like another. Like they tried bringing Shia LaBeouf into.
But he's not a good choice for anything. He had a lot of issues.
Well, yes, but that was even during the movie. It just didn't work. I don't know. We have to do it. I could talk. Episode 83 is gonna be all about Indiana Jones. So let's just cut.
Anyways. Okay, so we've got this cool theme going on. We're gonna have like an Encanto themed ride as well. This is actually the one that I heard the least about, other than the ride vehicles are gonna be shaped after furniture, which is really cute. But I don't really have a grasp on where it's gonna be, what kind of ride it's gonna be. Is it indoor, outdoor? I know we're gonna follow Antonio, who it was his birthday in the movie. He got his gift where he can talk to animals, and so we're going into Antonio's room.
And so the attraction's facade is going to be inspired by the casita.
Yes. Okay, so you're going into the casita.
Yeah, you're going into the casita, and that's why you're saying you're going to be going into Antonio's room, and it's on the day when he got his powers. Then it's supposed to be like you're going to be in his room, and you're going to see all this stuff, and then it's going to supposed to like transport you into the rainforest, and that's where you're going to see all the other animals and I'm guessing other Encanto characters.
Okay, now is this one we're thinking that it's going to be like a Ratatouille? Like, what is it, magnetic, or is it going to be a boat ride, or what are we thinking?
That's another thing. It's hard to tell from the picture here. It kind of looks like there's, like I said, it's going to be furniture.
Yeah, so more of like a trackless.
But it looks like there's like it kind of looks like a boat. Like there's 3 rows of people.
Okay. Right.
I don't know, but maybe that kind of looks like it could be like the Riders of the Resistance kind of car vehicles. I don't know. I'll have to see. I can't tell. If it's another boat, Disney seems to love their boat rides. So
they do love their rides. Maybe because they're like, there's less mechanical work, right?
It breaks down less because the magnetic rides are always
breaking.
They always break down in some format, or at least we think so. I still don't think Rise of Resistance breaks down because of that shuttle a lot. They can't get the shuttle to work.
They can't get the shuttle to work. All right, so we've got Zootopia still coming to the Tree of Life. Yeah. We know that this has been in the works. They're thinking, what, next winter? Maybe. Who knows?
I think, they're saying 2025. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So soon.
It seems like a somewhat easy transition into...
Right.
Because even though it doesn't make a ton of sense, that they're going to have zoo animals underneath the Tree of Life, the bugs made more sense.
I know. The bugs made a lot more sense.
But the bugs also scared a lot of kids. So that's what I think ultimately, and there's no one's watching A Bug's Life. So
I don't know. I mean, so then, we've got, also, I just wanted to mention this one that might excite you, is the Millennium Falcon. It was announced that a new mission featuring the Mandalorian and Grogu was going to open around the same time of the movie release, which is when is that movie release?
2026.
So not too far. So easy enough. It's just another kind of
they just have to
drop in a new
program the ride and make a new story with new
just new movements.
Yeah,
everything.
New movements and everything. Simple.
So, but I'm excited about this because I feel like I can relate to it more. Like I really liked The Mandalorian. Not that I didn't like everything else, but it was like. Okay,
other than it just being a generic
Grogu and Mando, they'll take care of me.
Other than it just being a generic story,
Yeah.
That you're just hijacking coaxium, which is something that
we're like, what does the coaxium do for us?
Disney and Star Wars kind of forced into our, Anyway, they forced into our universe. Yeah, I think it's welcome. I don't want to say like I was on board from the Smuggler's Run, but being that you feel like it should have more like options of stores, like it shouldn't always be the same one every time.
Right. I feel ya.
So I think that's going to be a good idea, and I think everyone's going to love seeing Baby Yodes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would excite us. So back to a couple other things. The Pirates of the Caribbean is going to be getting a lounge at Magic Kingdom.
Yes,
which is exciting, and then there's going to be a spaceship.
Before we go back over into Epcot, I still don't know where this lounge is going to go.
So
because across from it used to be Tortuga Tavern, which was a quick service restaurant, which is now closed.
Right.
And let's knock this bottle over.
Wouldn't you think that?
So right now they've opened up like a makeshift gift shop, I guess is what they said. Since we've been there, there's been a gift shop has popped up, which is weird.
Which makes sense though, because there was all those kind of curtain covers, and that's where Jack, whatever his name is.
Well, he was over around the corner.
Oh.
But it's weird because they already have a big gift shop that's right next to Pirates of the Caribbean. So they just expanded.
You can't get enough Pirates of the Caribbean.
But I also feel like that gift shop is way too big for Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is kind of funny. Out of all of the rides, it has like its
own big gift shop. But I guess that's part of the thing.
You know what's funny is Tron doesn't have a gift shop.
Tron does not have a gift shop. It has that gift shop that as you're walking over to Tron, before the sign, there's a gift shop there. That's like in Tomorrowland, but it's not like themed.
It's not Tron based.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's stuff in there.
But that comes off of when you get off Space Mountain, I thought.
Well, I mean, it's in Tomorrowland, so.
Huh.
I don't think I can't remember ever going in there. I think I have. I was looking for Star Wars stuff.
But I could see. Okay, so Pirates of the Caribbean though is a family friendly ride, right? So, yes. I mean, I could see that's where you spend some money.
But I don't know where that lounge is going to be.
Okay, back to what we were actually talking about. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where that lounge is going to be, and I don't know. It's just going to be. It's not like a sit down. It seems like they're trying to bring back the lounge, like that's like their thing. Yeah. Like, it's not going to be a restaurant. It's just going to be like another
place to have drinks.
It's gonna be like an Oga's type of thing. Like maybe not as cool.
Yeah,
but
I mean, well.
Maybe it's going to be kind of pirate like, and where it's. Somebody might get stabbed while you're drinking some grog. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I want to try it out. I think it sounds interesting.
Wherever it should be over in Adventureland.
Now, over at Epcot, they are bringing a Spaceship Earth lounge. Now, when I heard about this, I was like, that's cool. Like, great views. It's going to be upper crust. I don't know. It's going to be like fancy, fancy. It's meant to be a high-end luxury. You can see the fireworks show. So yet another place that you're going to have like exclusive fireworks.
I'm sure. They're probably going to try before.
So I was initially excited, and then I was like, do we have the clientele for this? Is there actually going to be enough people that aren't sweaty, disgusting, sneaker, screaming children able to dine here?
Well, again, it's a lounge, so I don't think it's necessarily going to be a dining.
But it's supposed to be high end.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Nomad Lounge over at Animal Kingdom. I'm thinking like you wouldn't necessarily want to bring your gaggle of children there, right?
Maybe not. Yeah, but Epcot's normally like, people are doing their adulting there and they're walking around and going around the world and they want to come somewhere for a good view.
All right.
I'm still not sure. They said it's replacing a lounge. It used to be called the Seaman's Lounge. Giggle.
The what?
Seaman's.
Oh boy.
Seaman's Lounge.
God.
Abby, please.
Well,
I think. Do not.
Don't name it something so dumb like that.
I'm the one that normally goes there, and Mondays really mess things up.
Messy.
So I don't really know where that is, though. She's still laughing. Where's there a lounge on the Spaceship Earth? They said it was attached to Spaceship Earth.
Maybe.
And also, like, you can't see the fireworks from Spaceship Earth because there's a ton of stuff inside of it, unless you're like above it.
Well,
there's just a bunch of stuff in front of it now.
Yeah, because it says
the big arms of Communicore Plaza, and
if they mean attached by like next to, but like attached by like the cover hang or whatever.
I guess I just haven't paid enough attention.
That's possible for
I don't know, right? Because there's the gift shop.
Map, Disney. I need a map.
If you're coming from the entrance of Epcot, there's a gift shop to the right of Spaceship Earth. And what's to the left?
It's another like I think it was a Coca-Cola place. I think that was
that the
yeah.
I mean, we only walked by there 10,000 times on our last trip.
Yeah. But I really do think that's the Coca-Cola place where you get all the books.
Maybe. Is that the lounge? We're going to have to find out.
We'll find out. But okay, so I'm excited again. I'm excited to see that. They did make the announcement that November 15th, Tiana's Bio Adventure opens over in Disneyland. They've been waiting impatiently.
We're back in Disneyland.
Yep. Sorry, just had to say that. But back to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Listen, we are so excited. Listen. He's like, I don't know what you're going to announce. What are you talking about?
What is happening? Where are we going?
Disney Starlight. The nighttime parade that's coming to Magic Kingdom. Guys, we have not had a nighttime parade in like, I'm going to say a decade, but maybe I'm wrong. It's been a really long time.
I mean, yes. I agree.
Rob's like, I've never seen a nighttime parade.
I've barely seen the daytime parades at the Magic Kingdom, so I don't know if I'm going to see the nighttime one either.
Oh man, like listen, I feel fireworked out after this last time. I'm excited to see some nighttime parades.
Well, see, so now here's my problem, right? So what time is that parade going to happen in the summer? Because it doesn't get dark until late.
Right.
And if it's a nighttime parade, is it going to be like at 8 and then the fireworks are at 9? It's going to be a mess in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, yes. And so that was my one initial thought too, was that I feel like there's going to be crowded streets and people just sitting on the edges of the curbs and stuff for not only the nighttime parade, but then also the fireworks. So we are looking at different things happening here, but I'm excited for it. I'm still excited for it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be something.
I love anything where they bring live talent. You're giving actors work and you're showing your kids different aspects of the arts, and every time you can experience that, so cool.
Abby loves the arts.
That's my soapbox.
She loves the arts. One other thing they mentioned, since I can't, I'm going through a little bit of whiplash because we've been all over the parks. The Epcot, they said that Luminous has the ability to be upgraded, right? That's the fireworks show and they built it to be upgraded. And so they're talking about, they had a whole, like, it was like a panel just about the fireworks. The history of the fireworks shows that go on in Disney. And they're saying that Luminous is probably going to get drones added to them, and then it just makes sense, right?
Yeah,
it seems like that's where everyone loves, like seeing drones.
We've got drones here
in the Dreams That Soar over, and
but also Disneyland has drones. Yeah, so like
and
we're
Disneyland
just
Paris, and like all these amazing things.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, so that's going to be something else.
So we didn't cover the international parks. There was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
But one thing we will talk about is how Disney Cruise Lines is adding 4 new ships. Now, okay. So that brings the fleet to like 12, which I think is a very large fleet. It's a lot of boats. Like my head is spinning. This is a lot of boats. Where are we going? Are we doing
your
more
head
Bahamas?
Is spinning, you mean, are you turning like
what
are we starboard, port? Like which way are you spinning? Is it spinning?
No,
because you don't have your sea legs yet and everything's just spinning.
I just feel like where are we going? Where are we going with all these boats?
They just they must know that obviously the cruising is
I do think they see an uptick in cruising. Yes.
Yeah. And they see and they know it's advantageous that there's
cruising.
a business, the business model works. And so that they're just keep expanding that fleet.
Yeah. All right.
For more, they're afraid to name them, though. We're still working on names. We haven't. What other kind of generic?
They'll get something good.
I hope it's called the Seaman's Ship.
I would not go on that ship. That's crazy, Robert.
Going back to the international stuff, we're not going to go in depth, but they are getting Disneyland Park in Paris is getting a new nighttime spectacular, which looks pretty cool. Again, they have the drones already there. They are also getting a Lion King land. Yeah, which is going to be the Pride Lands.
They say that it's supposed to be like the old one, but all the the
drawings look like it's the new live action or the whatever you want to call it, live action or whatever it is.
Sure.
Anyway, that's over in Paris. Shanghai Disney is getting a new Spider-Man roller coaster. Hong Kong Disney is getting a new Spider-Man attraction. It's all about Spider-Man over in the foreign lands across the seas.
So it's all good.
It's all good.
So we should mention, or I should say, I've taken a little bit of interest, like Bob Iger, who's the CEO over at Disney, will be retiring at the end of 2026.
Oh my gosh.
So there's like all this speculation, he left for a little while and then he was replaced. Everybody hated who replaced him. And then he came back and there was like big, thank goodness. Now, I think that Josh D'Amaro, who you had talked about earlier in the podcast, would be a really great candidate, but I'm not sure that he wants this position because he's loved in his position. And I think it's hard for Bob,
do you have some inside scoop here?
I don't. I'm just
saying.
You
and Josh Instagram buddies?
I mean, obviously. I talk to everybody over there at Disney. I'm just, let's open it up for debate. What do you guys think?
People always want
who should be the next Disney CEO?
I think it should be Lando because he has some great ideas. It's a bark at the UPS and Amazon delivery drivers. Pee whenever you try to pick them up, and then just sleep the rest of the time.
I mean, he does have the life. I cannot lie.
Especially the peeing.
So, we are the Disney Hour Express, so we want to keep this express-like. But I did have to mention, we had a good friend of ours and someone who we organized their trip for them. Yeah. They went to Disney this past weekend.
This is a pioneer.
It's a pioneer. Woo woo! They used the multi-pass and had a few things to say about it.
Are we going to drop a name?
Well, our wonderful friend, as all of a sudden I become gobbledygook.
Yeah, she got super shy all of a sudden.
Because
she's
I don't want
blushing.
to call them out and then be like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Oh my God, she's got the giggles.
But it also happens that she has a book for pre-sale that we did pop up on our Instagram. Lauren Halama over there at her place.
You remember her address?
I feel like I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. This is terrible. I was just gonna give a review and then Rob put me on the spot and I feel all what's the word? Clumped, all crazy. Okay, so their family used multi-pass and they actually really liked the system. They felt like they got to do everything and then do it again and do it more. So sometimes the things that they really wanted to do, they were able to do them 2 to 3 times. The big rides they were able to do because they did book them the 7 days in advance. They were also there on park hoppers. So this was a great experience for them. They didn't feel like it was too complicated to be able to book ahead of time. And they did to do Tron, they did like the single passes and they did that. They felt like, they don't go to Disney every single year, which is that's totally normal.
Yes.
They kind of plan on that for every 3 years. So
yes, we're atypical in that we go to Disney all
very much so.
Yeah.
So they felt like the expense, like although very expensive, there were some kind of grumbles at some points, especially when you have to like change a day. So just this was a really good tip that they gave us. Like they had multi-pass for Animal Kingdom. This big torrential rainstorm was coming through and they had to change the multi-pass to Hollywood Studios. You have to call, you have to change it. Okay. And they will increase your what you're paying, right? Because it has to match the Hollywood Studios, which is kind of like, I'm already on the phone with you. It took a really long time. I've already paid. I thought I was done, and now I have to pay more. Yeah. So it makes sense, but it's also just like the stick that knife in a little bit further. So but
hopefully it wasn't too painful of an experience,
right?
As they were dealing with that was during all the tropical storm Debbie was wreaking havoc down there.
Didn't sound like it, and they had a great day at Hollywood Studio. So all in all, it sounds like they had an amazing experience with multi-pass. I think it's an amazing thing for us to be able to do it ahead of time.
Yes.
We can now work on helping our clients do it, which is great.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the day of with like Genie Plus and stuff, we really couldn't help.
With the morning,
there's too much communication that needs to happen.
It's too chaotic. And you're like working on like a list. Yeah, I have like 10 rides, so I'm gonna go down the list and see what I can get you or what's not available, what's not available. It's just so it's definitely gonna make things easier planning.
So much easier.
And it's gonna help you there. You're not going to have to wake up and like dedicate time to do this. It's just going to be so much more a pleasure.
So anyways, I think they did the first Halloween party, which they absolutely love. They're big Halloween people.
Yeah.
This was a really cool experience. Now, I was surprised to hear that they did not do any of the parades. They did the rides.
Oh, really?
So they were into the rides, which is true.
Like,
this time of night, like if you're focused on rides, you're going to get on them and get off them real quick. But I'm excited to see some of the parades when we go down, especially the grave diggers and all that stuff. So I'll get the other end of the scoop. How about that?
I like it. So just so you know, right, Lorian Lawrence.
I'm so sorry. I gave her other name. Yes, Lorian Lawrence is what her book is under.
His book, and they have the Fright Watch series, and there's 3 books in that. There's the Stitchers, the Collectors, and then Unmasked. Right?
They're really good. I got really addicted to the first one this summer, and I kept like wanting to ask questions, but I didn't want to be that person, so I didn't.
And then the new one that's coming out is called The Many Hauntings of the Manning Family.
That's right.
So it's going to be fun for everyone.
So we've already pre-ordered ours. You guys go ahead and get yours. It's going to be great. I love these series and these books.
I'm getting the audiobook version.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll have mini versions in this house.
Abby's gonna read it to me.
Anywho, any other news?
No, I think that was a lot. It's nothing else. That was it. So now I want to hear what was your. People were saying it wasn't enough. Like, what was that?
I think because they gave the announcement last year of like and kind of said a lot of these things. Like we already knew that Zootopia was coming and Indiana Jones and Kanto. We knew, I think Cars was totally new. We didn't know about that. But we knew a lot of this, like at least 70% of this stuff was
They knew the land beyond Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, we knew about it. We knew Valen's Land was coming.
Yeah, we knew, yes.
So it's kind of like, I think they were just like, what's new? We know this was happening.
I don't know.
So I think it's just they were.
I get it. Monsters Inc. No one knew that was coming.
Nobody knew it.
It was like the 2001 property is now 24 or 5, however long it takes to build years later coming.
Yes. Well. Anyways, I think
Animal
that
Kingdom, Epcot, right? Epcot's really kind of the one that's not right, because Test Track is coming new, and that they kind of said is going to be open, next year, which we all kind of knew. It's getting the lounge, but that's really it.
True.
But they also just put a lot into Epcot. There's been a lot of new rides, and then the whole Communicore.
Oops, sorry. I just bonked my microphone really loud.
So,
in any case, I think it was good news. I think knowing that they're breaking ground, we're going, here it comes.
Yeah. And I think it's more, I can't wait to, like, I definitely want to go more. I want to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But I think, like,
we need
I kind of want to
figure out
wait.
the timing, though.
Yeah, I want to wait until Avatar's, like, built. And,
absolutely.
And I like how it's going to be Way of the Water and then whatever the future offerings are.
Yeah, the fire.
But also, like, don't forget about, the Florida parks.
I know. Yeah. But we're getting a lot. We
are, but I want more.
All right.
Give me more. Give me more.
Greedy.
I want a Lion King land in Animal Kingdom.
Okay. That being said, we wish you guys a wonderfully magical week, and we'll talk to you next time.